first, there was a black guy who was having a civil conversation with them, right? And then shortly after that, I believe 20 minutes later, you know who shows up? A bunch of women. A bunch of women. So when I was looking at it today, I just thought, a lot of people, or especially a lot of black people, they love to bring up Martin Luther King and Malcolm X when we live the opposite of the expectations that they had for us. When they were alive, you know, our families were a lot closer. There weren't a lot of single moms walking around, and black women had clothes on and they were gorgeous. But we tend to bring them up all the time, you know, when something happens. But if you look in the black community, we are not living the way that they thought we would be living today. But I was thinking, just imagine if a lot of black people, most of the black community was living the way that Martin Luther King and Malcolm X wanted us to live. We honestly would be in full agreement about a lot of things that are wrong with this world, okay? We would be in full agreement with that. But when I noticed that, I just said to myself, look at the women. Look how the women act today. And I know in one of my videos, I definitely said when men don't walk in their authority, it's a domino effect. When men don't do what they're supposed to do, and you see how the women act. But in a few of those clips too, if you go back and watch it, there were a few men in the crowd. And guess what they were doing? They were acting just like the women. They were dancing, hollering out cuss words, throwing up their fingers, just like a woman, just like how women act. That's why I say when you look around, the men act just like the women. Those women wouldn't act like that if there were most men in the black community were doing what they're supposed to do. You saw one young man up there having a civil conversation with them. But when the women show up, that's when it went chaotic. But the men that you do see in the background are acting like the women. That's what I say. Men, walk in your authority. America needs men to walk in their authority.